DFS Show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Preview Show. We're here for the Thursday 5-game main slate. We got 2 games starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and then 3 games kicking off at 10 p.m. with a 10:30 late night game. So, again, a big split slate. We'll see how these lineups play out. We got some teams on back-to-backs, notably the Lakers, the Kings, the Bulls, and the Pacers, and the Knicks all on the back-to-backs here. So half the slate on the second leg of a back-to-back. 5 games. Should be interesting. Really should be interesting with some of these matchups that we have here. Does Luka play the second leg of this one? We weren't sure if he was going to play the last time. Matchup against Milwaukee certainly could be appealing. We know the Knicks and the players that they have out. The Pacers ruled out Halliburton again for the front leg of their double back-to-back here. So a lot to pay attention to. 3 games, like I said, starting 3 hours after the first 2 games of the slate kickoff here. So should be a Thursday one to have some fun with here, Grande.
Sometimes, more recently than not, I wish I was colorblind. Only specifically when I'm looking at this slate.
Yeah.
Because I can't stand seeing all this red and orange all the time. Oh, you see, main page. I tried to scroll away from it, and I couldn't get away from it. It just followed me. No, I mean, it's going to be another interesting slate. A lot of teams on back-to-backs. I mean, that's all we can really say, right? Like, a lot of teams on back-to-backs. Yep. That's kind of a recipe for disaster of late.
Yeah, for sure, some players that are currently without an injury designation will have them. Guys who may be ruled in will be ruled out. I guess we'll all have to wait and see, like we saw with Utah, ruling guys that were in, out. Washington ruled out guys that were out, in. So on the Wednesday slate, could follow us here to the Thursday one. Luka's 12-7, Giannis is 11-7. Those are your 2 guys up over $10,000. Brings us to Luka, LaMelo Ball, Steph Curry, and Austin Reeves up over 9,000. Again, shorter slate, so the player pool is a bit smaller than usual here. Do you have a preference if spending up? We talked about on the larger Wednesday slate that maybe you didn't need to get to Luka or get to a Jokic. Do you think you need to prioritize a top spend up on a smaller slate?
Definitely can. We've talked about it for a long time. On the smaller slates, you need raw points, right? Typically.
Yeah.
There's always the second game on a back-to-back for Luka that you have to worry about. But if he plays, I'm comfortable getting there. I think if you end up getting to Luka, you'd be more than happy with him in your lineup. And I think it's a viable approach because, again, when you look at just simply raw points, him and Giannis are probably pretty comfortably ahead of the field. Like, Towns can get there, but because he's had 260 actual point games in his career. So, he's obviously of that ilk, but more often than not, you get those ceilings from Luka and Giannis. So, I think this is a slate you could definitely pay up for Luka if he plays.
Curry again against Toronto would be a pretty good matchup for him. LaMelo against the Knicks. You've talked about it. How the Knicks actually have gotten better with Jalen Brunson off the floor because of how poor of a defender Brunson is. But we know, what Ball could bring as a ceiling. He continues to shoot pretty poorly. They got blown out against the Clippers last time out there. But back home after a long road trip. And then, of course, if Luka sits the second leg of a back-to-back, Reeves finds himself in a really good spot. How do you kind of handle this next grouping once you get below Luka?
Yeah, I mean, LaMelo's in play in tournaments. I don't have much of a strong take outside of that. You could play him in a tournament. Charlotte looks terrible. They're getting blown out a lot. Tournaments only. Steph, it's on record, Steve Kerr saying that he looks tired. which is interesting because things have gotten significantly easier for him with Jimmy Butler being in the lineup.
Right.
But if he looks tired, I don't love 9,200 for him, but he has a steal.
Didn't play the other night, so
didn't play. I don't know. Tournaments for me, like Austin Reeves in any format, the guy is just really good. Just produces night in, night out. Definitely like 9,100 for him as well.
Sure. We'll see. Giddy on the back-to-back came back. Was going to play his usual allotment of minutes, as they said on the Wednesday slate. Kobe White at 82. Malik Monk. They ruled out Zach LaVine on the Wednesday slate for personal reasons. We'll see if he comes back or not. Thoughts here as we dip down into the 8K and below tier.
Yeah. It was interesting to see the allotment of minutes for Giddy be 30 to 32. I actually, and just for the record, could see Tyrese Halliburton here as well. Just
True.
Throwing him into that mix too. Second leg of a back-to-back. Might just be like, oh, you didn't play front leg, gonna play you on the back leg. So I like Halliburton against Brooklyn also. Wouldn't be surprised, I guess, to see maybe Pacers sit on the second leg, but also we'll see. Dame in tournaments, he has not looked great. There was apparently a meeting with Doc Rivers in this one that Giannis and Dame specifically had with him. Take that for what it's worth, but Dame has not really played well. He's always live for a ceiling game, though. Giddy, we know, has a ceiling. You can play him. Interesting to see in a 30-point loss, they finally extended Scotty Barnes 30 minutes, and he stunk. They did rule out RJ Barrett in this game. Really tough spot. I do like the 30 minutes for what that's worth, but Kobe White, he's been great if you want to play him. Malik Monk. Yeah, I mean, if there's no Sabonis, we know, and if there's no Levine, I mean, they're just simply shorthanded. So I would be interested in Monk at 79. I guess we'll have to see about Levine.
Yeah. Levine was in that Memphis game, and he still went for 50 fantasy points. So.
Yeah, I mean,
he's been good all year playing with them. So
sure. 7,900 is a steep price. I'm not like fully. I'll also say Chicago in the month of March ranks 9th defensively.
Sure.
So it's been better. I'm not as sold as you at 7,900 if Levine's there.
Yeah. Brooklyn guys. You have Keon and D'Angelo Russell here at 59 and 58. McBride $5,800 as well. Pajemski came back 57 for him. Well, what do you think as we work our way down here?
I'd also throw Quickly in there. He also played 30 minutes in that game. If they're going to play these guys 30 minutes and there's no RJ Barrett, then it's in play. The only reason we were kind of done with Toronto is because they weren't.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if they're going to, but they did play 30. So if you can promise, Darko can promise me 30 minutes, then I'll play Quickly as well.
Sure.
Trey Jones, no drop off with Giddy. Actually, did Giddy play in the Utah game? He didn't play in the Utah game.
No, they haven't played yet. They play at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Keon,
so we'll see. Keon, the minutes kind of sucked. Dude, I like the D'Angelo Russell role when there's no Cam Thomas. I mean, the numbers are really good. And 18 shots is 18 shots. I mean, the guy puts them up. Good peripherally. So at 5,800, I would take a shot at him in tournaments. I like your Pajemski call. Steve Kerr said he was only going to play 25 minutes. That obviously wasn't true.
That was a lie.
He played nearly 30, and he was really good. So, yeah, Pajemski back in the lineup. And then we'll see about Indiana. I mean, we kind of had talked about it. We were getting a lot of questions on the Wednesday show about TJ McConnell. TJ McConnell played 16 minutes, John. So, and that kind of goes like, that's what he needs multiple bodies to get there.
Yeah, he needs everybody out.
So like, if Halliburton's out, it's another situation where like, no, if it's just Halliburton. Nembhard played 32 minutes, 22, 8, 3, and 1. I would definitely get to some Andrew Nembhard at 5,600.
Agreed. Keon Ellis is starting for Sacramento with Levine out, so that's something to watch.
Yes.
Levine sits out again, could get Keon Ellis back in the starting lineup. Good defensive player, can get streaky from three. And then you mentioned Kevin Porter the other day was coming off some good games, did not have a good game against Golden State, but comes and goes with his production there.
Naturally played him on the late slate. Sure. You know how it goes, but I like your Keon call, and I guess we'll see how the rest of like the Sacramento rotation plays out. Like Devin Carter's been playing a little more. I'm not sitting here saying that I would play Devin Carter definitively, but I'd like to see if there's no Levine, or like what happened. There is no Levine. What happens with no Levine if we get that same situation again?
Yeah, and we got to see what Charlotte too. If Charlotte just goes and rules everybody out again, then we'll have that same starting lineup.
Damian Baugh, oh man, can't wait. Damian Baugh,
Seth
Curry, oh, so much fun, dude, so much fun.
All right, shooting guard. Mentioned Reeves already. A lot of crossover here. Only crossover here. It looks like actually. Mikal Bridges is new. The values of Connect, Horder, Neesmith, Matherin. Moody keeps playing a lot of minutes. Of the guys we hadn't discussed yet, maybe Neesmith for me at 53.
I like Mikal.
Yeah, you're still going back there.
Yeah, he's having a good game. Having a good game on Thursday. Still with a fourth quarter to go.
Yeah, randomly starts giving you the assists after we dunked on him for no peripheral stats.
Yeah, that's about how it goes. So I would go back to Bridges, shooting guard, small forward. Has looked better lately, no Bridges. I agree on your Neesmith point. Like the first time that we've basically had for only guy that we haven't really mentioned. What did the Bulls go with? They started Herder, so they didn't start Josh Giddey tonight.
No, even though Donovan said he's going to play. Play 30 to 32.
They're starting Trey Jones. I guess TBD on.
We have to see, right? Have to see the minutes.
Yeah, and if nobody plays, like we'd go back to Herder.
If Luka sits, Dalton Connect obviously was a big game. Had a big game against Denver when he sat.
Mm-hmm. Lakers continue to start Jordan Goodwin at 4,600.
Yeah,
that could be an option. I don't think there's much else here.
No, maybe Seth Curry here if he's back. If everybody's out and he starts again, that'd be really good.
Yeah, if everyone's out again and he's starting, yep.
Small forward, Giddey, point guard, small forward eligibility. It's a new one.
Yeah, he had that on Thursday.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Buckets, DeRozan, Hart in the 8K tier.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy coming off back-to-back monster games looked like the best player on the floor when they needed him to be the best player on the floor in that fourth quarter against Milwaukee. Can obviously still do it when they need him to. And if Steph is like legitimately tired, like if that is a real thing that is going to affect him down the stretch of this year, well, good thing they had a guy resting for 2 months in Miami.
Drinking plenty of coffee.
Souped up on coffee, right. So I don't hate Jimmy. You obviously have to be conscious of the floor because there is a really low floor for a guy at $8,200. DeRozan definitely gonna lead the team in shot attempts. He's really expensive. I don't love the price tag for DeMar DeRozan personally.
If Levine and Sabonis are out though, I would go there.
Yeah, sure. I'm just saying. I don't disagree. That wasn't me disagreeing. I just don't love the price. That's really what it like. And Hart obviously is a good option too. I actually forgot Cam Johnson was out here, John. This is the front leg of a back-to-back for them. So that probably like Zaire Williams and possibly Jalen Wilson
or
type players or Tyrese Martin. Yeah, I mean, one of those three guys, presumably would get a big bump. Not that Zaire's been good, 4,700. I'd play Zaire anyway, but the other two would definitely venture to say they're going to get big bumps too.
Agreed. OG not having a great shooting night tonight, has 5 rebounds and 4 stocks though, so kind of a typical OG game. If the shots were there, he would be having a much bigger performance. But it's Charlotte, so you mentioned Bridges. I think OG is always going to be in play. A lot of these guys again, crossover we talked about. Williams, Daquan Jeffries had a big game, because again they had nobody else, so he stepped up, 8 of 12 shooting.
Yeah, I don't. The Jeffries one is interesting because Bridges is back.
Yeah,
I'm curious because he's had some really bad games with them in the lineup, and he's also had random pop games and plays and blowouts. So there's a lot going for him and against him.
Yeah. Anything else for value here?
I guess in theory, Brooklyn could go Noah Clowney in the starting lineup because they've been doing the Cam Johnson, Zaire forward spot stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if Clowney were to start, that's an interesting eligibility here. Small forward, power forward. I think that's something to consider, but nothing else that stands out.
Power forward, Giannis is 11.7, Bridges 9K. These are your top 2 price plays. Obviously, Giannis versus the Lakers would be on a smaller slate. Appealing, once again, did not pay off the price tag. 39 minutes against Golden State, just 51 fantasy points. So kind of a struggle bus getting the full value out of Giannis at that price point. Bridges, last time he took the floor, 25 minutes against the Clippers in that blowout, wasn't great. I'd be willing to. I would expect probably a bounce back spot here against the Knicks for him, but still, in theory, not the easiest of matchups either.
Yeah, I'm good with both. I prefer Luka if I'm spending up, but if you get to Giannis, I think you'd realistically be happy with it. Sure. I know you're not wrong. When it comes to him paying this price off, because his price isn't going down; it's gone up.
Yeah, like I said, he's paid it off once.
Yeah, I mean he's gone for 62 of 3. So those games he obviously paid off, but you need 60.
Yeah,
and he's definitely not being as aggressive as we've seen. I know a lot. He gets to the foul line a lot and stuff, but 16 and 15 shots feels light for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Sure. So I like Giannis. Bridges is fine. I think both of them are. If you end up on either, you're going to be happy. I think if there's no Halliburton, Siakam per dollar might be better than both.
Yeah, had another big night tonight.
So that's probably how I'd approach it. I'm good with getting to Giannis. I'm good with getting to Bridges. But if there's no Halliburton and Pascal plays, then I would prefer that direction.
Miami blew yet another fourth quarter lead.
Dude, they're historically the worst fourth quarter team in the history of the NBA.
It's pretty hilarious. Cade right now 22, 11, and 11. Just smashing against the best. The game we cross out because they had less than a 210 totals up to 224 and counting. So
yep, 224 and then 224 in Houston and Orlando too. Because
classic. All right, Draymond, great spot against Toronto.
Yep.
I mean, dude, Keegan, if everybody's out, right? The minutes have been great anyways. But if he starts knocking down some shots and the rebounds are there because there's no Sabonis potentially,
yeah.
Do you think Sabonis plays in this game?
No, he's out for 10 days.
Oh yeah, 10 days, sprained ankle. So yeah, all right. Keegan's decent little spot there for him. Kuminga, 24 and 28 minutes the last 2 games.
Yeah.
The price is the minutes are okay. Toppin had an okay game off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, if Halliburton is out, there is a chance for Obi to be extended. Mm-hmm. They only played Miles Turner 22 minutes. They gave Obi Toppin 24. So if Turner is live to get benched because Brooklyn isn't they don't like the matchup for whatever reason, they go Obi, then Obi might play over him. 13-4-2.
Sure.
Probably doesn't get it done. I don't love the price. I take it back. I would probably need people out to get Toby Toppin at that price. Like multiple people, just because I don't think 23 minutes is enough at near 5K.
Value, anything for you?
Castleton's going to keep playing. They started Mobo the other day. I think we haven't gotten a Jakob Pertl like update, so it just depends on what they do with Pertl, basically for all of this to matter. But Castleton and Mobo, they straight up DMP'd Agbaji.
Roden. After starting him and playing him like 25 minutes, same for that.
I saw Jared Roden, John, got hurt in the G League after getting sent down, which is what it is, right? That is incredibly unfortunate for him because that should never happen in the first place. I guess we'll monitor the Trey Lyles minutes here because they ruled out Jake LaRavia on the Thursday or on the Wednesday slate. So I'd like to see what they do with Trey Lyles minutes with a short-handed. Sure. Like it's Levine, it's Sabonis, but also LaRavia's been playing a boatload of minutes. So I monitor the Trey Lyles minutes as well, but probably other than that, I don't think there's anything we need to talk about.
Center then, Towns 97. Price goes down $200 as he gets a Charlotte matchup. Having himself a good day so far against San Antonio. Still half a fourth quarter to go there. Townsend at 26-7, 1-1. So, on his way to a probably 30 plus actual point game, and now gets Charlotte. So could go there. Mark Williams let us all down the other night. He gets that Knicks matchup. Valanciunas for Chicago. It'd be great if they would keep him on the floor. Yep. We'll see how they run him tonight in that matchup. Vuk obviously on the other side. We'll see if Vuk plays on a back-to-back. What do you think happens here?
Yeah, I could be talked into probably any of those names. Towns has a good ceiling, really good numbers, and I expect Mitchell Robinson to sit on the other side for Mark Williams. So sure. Mark Williams versus Towns / smaller Precious is really good spot for him.
Yeah, Mitch Rob's got a double tonight in 14 minutes.
He does. He sure does. Like the Joe Val call, especially if Vucevic plays, because then you feel much better about the mobility factor not being as much of an issue. Also, like Vooch on the flip side, Sacramento can't defend when Valanciunas is on the floor. So I like any of those names, especially with Vooch back up to like 30 minutes a night.
Miles Turner against Brooklyn at 64 and Claxton the other side of that matchup at 58.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the random Miles Turner benching games. Had one tonight.
Yep.
Could, I guess, technically have one again tomorrow. I don't think it happens, but you never know. Claxton is fine. When Nick Claxton scores, he has a big game. But the scoring really is not consistent or like ever. Yeah, I mean, we're rarely getting like big scoring outings out of him. So
they gave this dude a lot of money, and his production is not what you'd expect of somebody getting paid that money.
No, and even like the defensive stuff hasn't been as good as it's been in years past. So like I'm okay with it. I would probably just like possibly go back to Jackson Hayes. Well, you could always play Orlando Robinson if Jakob Pertl's out. I don't know.
Again, smaller slates, there's not a lot of options. If they do sit Vuk, obviously Zach Collins at 42 would be like 100% rostered.
Yeah, he'd be 100%. You could play Trey Lyles down here as well.
Post, possibly.
Post probably goes back to the bench, but he's been solid.
All right. Let's build a lineup then. Let's see what we can do here. Value tier Zaire, right?
Yeah, Brooklyn definitely a good source of value.
58. Let's see what else we have for value. Was there another value that we Castleton? He just plays, right? Castleton. You think
so.
You think so?
I think so.
I think so. All right, 7K. Let's do that. Well, Russell Williams, Castleton, and we'll build around here. Did we want a Luka?
Yeah, we'll play Luka.
Okay. Luka and at there. 5,600 shooting guard, center, guard, and forward.
I mean, I don't love shooting guard.
Like Neesmith here.
You could also you could play Zaire there if we.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I don't think it. I don't know if it matters because I don't think there's much at small forward either that I'm like looking at that I love.
Yeah, Butler. Like Neesmith, Moody.
Yeah, any of those are fine. Neesmith is I like Neesmith.
Center. Where do you want to go? Valanciunas?
Yes, I guess. Question mark. Yes.
I guess. Question mark. Yeah, I guess. Luka. Go to there. So forward and util 4750.
This is so ugly.
It's not great.
It's an awful lineup. Let's just not build with Luka. Okay. This is unfun. I'm having no fun. Build with like Reeves. We'll just like pivot to Austin Reeves or something.
Pivot to Reeves. Okay. 6,500 per play.
Keegan?
Yeah, Keegan.
Or we didn't do we didn't play we could play Keon Ellis as well. If we wanted to, and then probably get back to nope. Can't even get to Giannis either.
Giannis is 11-7. Luka is 4-7. Is there 4-7 forward? Not really. Jeffries.
It would be Goodwin who's starting right now, or Jeffries.
Well, what if we did off of Valanciunas and did like Robinson, right?
Yeah, we need Pirtle out. He only played 20 minutes last game.
Or Draymond against Toronto, and then get 61 forward.
Yeah, I like that.
Go back to Murray. Just double up.
Yeah, that works.
Right. Russell Williams, Neesmith, Castleton, Green, Ellis, Murray, and Luka. Got $100 left over. As you can see, kind of an uncomfortable slate at current present. We'll see if there's more value that can open up and a bit more clarity. We'll be back live, myself and Grande, at 5 p.m. Eastern time here. Until then, everybody give us a like, subscribe, share. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know who you like on this 5-game slate. We'll catch you later.